Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala-s-salat. Hayya ala-s-salat. Hayya ala-l-falah. Hayya ala-l-falah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر أمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أوصيكم وإياكم بتقوى الله عز وجل. Brothers, As-salaam Alkuim. Our Imam just informed me that he's at another right now, so he could not join us. So this serves another reminder for us today for of the lesson of that how life is such a fragile thing for us. You know, it can be today and tomorrow we may not be here. So this is a reminder that every one of us has to prepare for that. You know, death is a calamity, this is sadness, it's a sad affair. But the greatest calamity of death is to meet it when we are not ready for it. And this is indeed the greatest calamity for anybody who believes that they will have to meet their Lord. Allah has mentioned that كل نفس ذائقة الموت ونبلوكم بالشر والخير فتنة وإلينا ترجعون. That every soul shall taste death, and we will indeed test you with good and bad, and that you will come back to us. You will come back to us in the end. So Allah has mentioned that He will test us with goodness, good times and bad times, and to see how we do. And we are indeed going through some calamity of time that we have never experienced before. And it's a good time for us to take heed of the reminder Allah is telling us, sending us, that there's a time that He can end our life as we know it whenever He wants. He can make us sit in our homes when we are healthy and not be able to go out when He wants. And He can take our provisions, our sustenance, everything, if He wants. It just shows us the power of Allah to over our lives. So we have to take heed and ask Allah to give us the guidance. And there's so many lessons in this calamity of this disease Allah has shown us that you cannot even encounter all of them. So I will just try to remind myself and you of few of the reminders I see, lessons from this that I see in this situation. So one of them is the ayah of the Quran in Surah Rum, of Rome, with all the surahs that we see. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. That corruption has spread on land and on sea for what the mankind has earned from their own hands, so that they may taste part of what they have earned, and perhaps they will come back to Allah. So Allah has told us that whenever corruption spreads on land and on sea, everywhere on earth, we have to look at nobody but ourselves. Our actions are the ones that have led to this disease or this calamity from Allah, so that we may taste a small punishment for what is in store for those who continue to disbelieve in Allah, continue to deny Allah's signs. And the sign is perhaps we will go back to Allah and return to Him in repentance. And Allah mentioned in another ayah, Allah says, وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُم مِّنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. And surely we'll make them taste the small punishments before the bigger punishment, so perhaps they may come back. So this is again, it's not as big of a calamity as it could be. And we talk about vaccination. Let's take an ayah from that. What's a vaccination? Vaccination is you take a weak or a dead virus and you insert it in you, so your body is immune to it, so when the actual disease strikes you, you're protected from it. So same thing, Allah is giving us these doses of small punishments. They are not overwhelming. So that if we take heed of it, we are ready for the big one. If we don't take our heed of it, it's like as if we don't take the vaccination. So when the disease comes to us, we are struck. So may Allah make us those who take benefit from this reminder that Allah has indeed power over our lives, and we have to take into heed what are we doing with our lives. One other lesson I see from this thing is that perhaps we were rushing towards the world too much, too fast. Not everyone, but most of the people were chasing wealth. They were chasing the dunya, they were chasing the worldly affairs, the worldly lives. But was anybody chasing Allah, running towards Allah? Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran and said, فَفِرُّوا إِنَ اللَّهِ. Run towards Allah. Allah did not say run towards the dunya. Allah will provide us for the dunya. He said, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنِّي لَكُم مِّنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Then run towards Allah. Indeed, I am a warner towards you from Him, an open, clear warner. Allah has told us, run towards Him. We were running towards the dunya. So maybe Allah put a hold to our lives. Maybe we may take heed. Okay, take accountability of ourselves. Was I running towards the dunya? Was I running towards Allah? Perhaps Allah will give us the tawfiq to run towards Allah and seek His bounty, seek His forgiveness. Allah will provide us of the sustenance. There's nothing wrong in working halal income for halal income, but our hearts should be running towards Allah. And may Allah give us the tawfiq to take benefit from this reminder and to prepare ourselves for that, to meeting with Him, because this is a reality for everyone. Everyone shall meet that. Everyone shall meet their Lord. But the person who is prepared for Him, he will be successful. And the person who is not prepared for it, he will have nobody to blame but themselves. And this is the greatest message that I see from it. Another message that I see from it is that Allah has condemned the society as a whole for its wrongdoings. It's not just individuals that are condemned. The societies also can be condemned. And I see it, that the parable of it in Surah Nahl, Allah says, وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا قَرْيَةً كَانَتْ آمِنَةً مُطْمَئِنَّةً يَأْتِيهَا رِزْقُهَا رَغَدًا مِنْ كُلِّ مَكَانٍ فَكَفَرَتْ بِأَنْعُمِ اللَّهِ فَأَذَاقَهَا اللَّهُ لِبَاسَ الْجُوعِ وَالْخَوْفِ بِمَا كَانُوا يَصْنَعُونَ. And Allah strikes example of a town that was in peace and a contentment, and its provision were coming to it from every place, but it was ungrateful to the bounties of Allah. So Allah Ta'ala made, and the wording is, exact wording, Allah Ta'ala made them taste the dress of fear and hunger for what they used to do. So the wording is very peculiar. Allah Ta'ala said He made them taste the dress of fear and hunger. So the scholars have said, what is the meaning of taste? Is that taste is a sense that is most intimate of our senses. We taste something that goes inside of our body. Touch and see and eyes and ears are on the outside, periphery. Taste goes inside. So Allah made them taste fear and hunger from the inside because they were ungrateful to the bounties of Allah. The beginning of the ayah mentions that this town was at peace and contentment. All the provisions were coming to them in abundance without any stoppage. But they were ungrateful to Allah's bounties. Allah said they did not disbelieve in Allah. He said, فَكَفَرَتْ بِأَنْعُمِ اللَّهِ. They were ungrateful to the bounties of Allah. For that, Allah Ta'ala made them taste fear and hunger. And the wording, second word is dress of fear and hunger. It's because a dress is all-encompassing. It surrounds us. So they could not escape their fear and hunger from outside, from inside, everywhere, because what they did, they were ungrateful to the bounties of Allah. So maybe perhaps it's a reminder to our time in our societies. Are we grateful to the bounties of Allah? This society was enjoying peace and tranquility. Food was abundant. There was so much food around, so much provision around. But now people are losing their jobs, provisions. It's a sad time. So we have to ask ourselves, is it perhaps maybe the society as a whole was not grateful to Allah? I think it was not. Individuals, there were people who were righteous, who were believing and praying to Allah and was thankful. But as a society, we have been a failure. We have not taken care of Allah's bounties, and we have not helped the poor with our provisions. And this is something that I have never mentioned before, but today maybe since going outside online, maybe somebody else can hear. Because in our society, poor are belittled. They are downtrodden. They are not respected because they are poor. Our society, when last time we had a problem, they had no problem giving billions and trillions to the bankers and the big people, but poor got nothing. And now and today, finally, they're talking about a few $100s extra to give the poor. And I've seen in the news that people are upset, are angered about that. Why are the unemployed getting this money? Nobody had issues when the bankers got the billions. But now, $600 a month or a week for 4 months. And I see news that people are angry about that. Why are they getting this? God forbid we help the poor. This is the message that society has. God forbid we help the poor and live in their life. We have the capacity to invade countries 10,000 miles away. But when it comes to finding the address to send us our money, we have 4 weeks, we have to find in 4 weeks to give you the money. They don't want to give us $1,200 to the poor, but they can invade countries over it. They have the capacity to, in 24-hour notice, to invade any country in the world. But when this comes to the unemployment check, they give 4 weeks. You are starving right now, you have no job right now because of no fault of your own. But the society will say, 4 weeks from now we'll give you the money. And even then, as a way that they're doing a favor to you. So this is a condemnation of the society. And I've seen that in Surah Saba, that Allah has expounded upon this principle that whenever the reminder comes to any society, the rich are always the one who are the most opposing to it. Why? Because Allah's message is not just about worshipping Allah, Tawheed. That's not what they hate it for. What they hate it for is that Islam denies them this monopoly of wealth. It denies them, yes, you can be rich in Islam, nothing wrong with that, but you will not be unjust to the poor. The poor have a right on the wealth Allah gave you. Use not your wealth. It's not something that you earn on your own. Qarun said, this is my earn. What happened to Qarun? Allah put them in the ground. He's sinking in the ground until the day of judgment. So this is what Islam says. You have no right to wealth Allah gave you, because the poor have a right to it too. And you give it to them, not belittling them. You give to them because they have a right on it. This is their right they're taking. So this is a society that has constantly condemned the poor, constantly belittled them, and now Allah is making them taste this punishment. That their livelihood are at stake. Other people are worried about their livelihood. Well, the poor were worried about the livelihood for years. Nobody paid attention to them. We cannot do anything about it, but perhaps we can change mind one person, 2 people, through the online, through any dissemination, that people need to realize we have to take care of the poor. Allah will not let us go if we ignore the rights of the other people. And the Surah Saba, when I mentioned, there's a mention, Allah says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لِلسَّبَانِ فِي مَسْكَنِهِمْ آيَةٌ, that Allah has mentioned that for the people of Saba there's an ayah. The whole story is very long. I don't want to talk about it, take too much time about it. But in the story, one of the ayah was that Allah Ta'ala mentioned that Saba were giving provisions from all over the world. They were giving, if you read the story of the Saba, that their town was surrounded by good gardens of wealth, and they had gardens of food and everywhere. Another boundary that they had was, Allah said, وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ وَبَيْنَ الْقُرَى الَّتِي بَارَكْنَا فِيهَا قُرًى ظَاهِرَةً وَقَدَّرْنَا فِيهَا السَّيْرَ سِيرُوا فِيهَا لَيَالِيَ وَأَيَّامًا آمِنِينَ. That Allah Ta'ala had placed between that Saba, the town of Saba, and the land of Jerusalem, many multiple towns between them and the town, and Allah said, travel between them day and night in peace. So the Mufassirin, the Tafsir, people of Tafsir have said, what is the meaning of this blessing is that between the town of Saba and the Jerusalem, there were so many towns in the middle, small towns, that a person could travel from one town to Jerusalem in peace. Because cities generally keep law and order in check. There's no highway robbery over there. So this allowed the poor as well as the rich to travel in peace and do trade between them and then the Saba and then the Jerusalem. And the trade prospered. Everybody was able to trade if anybody wanted to. Because if you were poor, you could not afford big caravans. You could not afford protection. So the cities would allow them to travel from one city to another and then until they reach the journey and come back. But Allah mentioned that فَقَالُوا رَبَّنَا بَعِدْ بَيْنَ أَصْفَارِنَا. But the rich people did not like that. They did not like that the poor could travel on their own from city to city and do trade and come back and live a decent living. So they wanted to make the trade monopoly with themselves, only those who could afford big caravans. So they said, oh Allah, make the cities far off, make the journeys long between us. And the Mufassirin have said the meaning of this is that they wanted the cities to disappear so that only the people who could afford caravans, because caravans are needed, because if you are living in the town, or if you are traveling in the desert and there's nowhere to spend the night, you are afraid of that somebody will come and attack you. So you need big caravans, big security, everything. Only rich can afford that. So they did that. And Allah Ta'ala said, وَظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَحَادِيثَ وَمَزَّقْنَاهُمْ كُلَّ مُمَزَّقٍ. So when they did this, when they denied the poor the right to earn a good living, Allah said, we made them stories to be told. They know nothing now. وَمَزَّقْنَاهُمْ كُلَّ مُمَزَّقٍ. They were scattered in the land. They ceased to remain a cohesive nation because they were unjust to their poor. And this is a reminder for us, maybe. And I see that this is a reminder for our generation, for our society. We have to be socially reliant upon, we have to be so socially aware of our duty to everybody in the society, the poor as well as the rich. Islam is about justice. It's not about class warfare. It's all about justice. Poor and rich all have a right. Everybody has a right to dignity and earn their living in a dignified manner. And we are denying this to us, our people in this time and age. And so, brother, this is something I want to remind, because this time is a reminder for us in a manner that I have never seen in my life, and we may never see it until the day of judgment. Who knows? There is a good time to change our mindset, that this society needs to change and be more conductive to the needs of the people and to the needs of the needy and the poor and all of those people who need our compassion. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rasulih al-Mustafa. In Surah Sabah, we continue this mention of Surah Sabah. I find it that it is so relevant to our time, that there are ayahs after ayahs that talk to us about this time and age. And now, before this thing struck us, because generally the society thought of itself as the pinnacle of human civilization. We thought we were the best of all human times. Right? We thought that we were so great. But Allah has given us ayahs in the Quran that we are not anybody. Allah Ta'ala mentioned the Ad. Allah said, فَأَمَّا عَادٌ فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ وَقَالُوا مَنْ أَشَدُّ مِنَّا قُوَّةً قَالُوا أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ الَّذِي خَلَقَهُمْ هُوَ أَشَدُّ مِنْهُمْ قُوَّةً وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يَجْحَدُونَ. As for Ad, they were arrogant on earth without any justice, any right. They had no right, but they were arrogant, and they said, who is greater than us in might? And if you look at the Quran, what Allah mentions about the Ad were physically extremely strong. They used to carve mountains as homes. I mean, nobody in our mind can imagine that. What a nation has to be strong enough that they can carve mountains for homes. And so they became arrogant. Who is stronger than us in power, in might? So Allah tells, did they not realize that Allah, the one who created them, He is stronger than them in might? And they used to deny, they used to fight against Allah's ayat, Allah's Quran, Allah's messages. So what happened to Ad? Ad cannot even be mentioned because none of their things survived. We talk about Petra and all those, they're not Ad. Ad is something that is prehistoric. There is no physical sign of Ad remaining. Allah destroyed them in a way completely that nothing but stories of them remain. And then Allah mentioned in Surah Sabah, وَقَدْ قَذَّبَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَمَا بَلَغُوا مِعْشَارَ مَا آتَيْنَاهُمْ فَكَذَّبُوا الرُّسُلَ فَكَيْفَ كَانَ نَكِيرٌ. We think we are something? Allah Ta'ala is telling us the time of Quran is anytime from Rasulullah till the day of judgment. So everybody from that time is audience of the Quran. Allah Ta'ala says that people who were before them were also denied. People who were before us also denied the message of Allah. But Allah says, you have not been given 10th of what they were given. So we think we are something. Allah Ta'ala is telling us in the Quran, you have not even reached 1/10 of what the people of the past were given. Yet they denied, and what happened to them after they denied. So we think we are somebody, our technology is something, we think our knowledge is something. Allah Ta'ala is saying in the Quran, you were not even given 10th of what they were given. But what happened to them when they denied? So are we special? Are we special that if we deny Allah's signs, we will not get the same fate that they received? Allah Ta'ala does not do favoritism. If some nation was destroyed for doing something, another nation does the same thing, they will have the same punishment because there is no favoritism with Allah. Umar said that there is no blood relationship with Allah and His creation. Everybody has the same rank. And yes, of course, rank, taqwa is different, but everybody has the same judgment on them. You do good, you will get the good reward. You do bad, you will get the punishment. Don't think that we are somehow special. If we do the same thing as the past, of the people of the past, we will not meet the same fate. We will meet the same fate because the justice of Allah does not allow favoritism between nations. If we do the same what the Ad did, walk around arrogant, watch, Allah Ta'ala will destroy everyone. There's one sin Allah that has the most is arrogance. Nobody has a right to be arrogant in front of Allah. Who has the right to be arrogant in front of Allah? None. Anybody who ever had the right, if you even imagine, was the Anbiya. Yet even the Anbiya were told, Allah told them, walk on earth, humility. Allah mentioned in the Quran that all of Allah walk on earth with humility. If anybody had a right to be arrogant, it was them. Yet they walk on earth with humility because nobody in reality deserves to be proud except for the one who is creator of all the heaven and earth. May Allah give us a reminder to act upon this reminder that we should be humble, we should always seek Allah's help, and never consider ourselves anything that we have earned on our own. Any knowledge that we have earned is all from Allah. And Allah in the Surah Sabah and I mentioned this. قل إنما أعظكم بواحدة أن تقوموا لله مثنى وفرادى ثم تتفكروا ما بصاحبكم من جنة إن هو إلا نذير لكم بين عذاب شديد. Allah said, say to Rasulullah and to everybody who follows them, say, I am warning to you by myself that you stand for Allah in pairs or in singularly and ponder over it. Your companion, your sahib, Rasulullah is not bewitched. He's only a warning to you. He's a warner to you in front of a great punishment, adab, is a great punishment. So this is just a reminder. This is not actual punishment from Allah. This is just a reminder for us to take heed because the punishment of Allah, when it comes, it does not let anybody escape. So may Allah give us the tawfiq to act upon this guidance and reminder. Whatever good I've said is from Allah. If anything I missed, anything I misspoke, it's only from my own weakness and from shaitan. May Allah forgive me for that. May Allah give us the tawfiq. And Allah let's pray for the brothers and sisters who are sick and all the creation who are sick and suffering from this. May Allah remove them their suffering. May Allah give them shifa kamila, full and complete cure from this. May Allah give them the sabr to go through whatever hardship they are going through. Give them the patience to endure it with goodness. May Allah give the families of those who have deceased patience to endure this, and those who have deceased, the believers amongst them, may Allah forgive them their sins and enter them in Jannah, and then and unite us with them in the goodness in Jannah, and not in the harshness of hellfire. May Allah make us the tawfiq, give us the tawfiq to act upon this time, to act upon the message of Quran, to act upon the guidance from Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabiyyi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. May Allah send a blessing on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companion and all his family. May Allah give us the tawfiq to act upon the guidance. Allah says, "Alladhina yastami'una al-qawla wa yattabi'una ahsanahu." That who listen to the guidance and then they act upon, follow the best of it. So may Allah give us the tawfiq to act upon the best of guidance. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabiyyi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Aqimu as-salata inna as-salata tanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول